She tells him he needs to be single for a while, and Brody says, it just happens that way, and when you meet someone really special, just because you don't want to get in a relationship doesn't mean you have to ruin it with them.
And the good thing is, though, that our girl Lauren sees right through it.
It's because she's wise now. She's grown.
From that relationship from hell.
She's dealt with this twice now. Steven, Jason, she has learned, she has adjusted.
Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Millennial TV. We are your hosts, Liz, Candace, and Adrian, and today we will be recapping The Hills Season 2, Episode 3, The Best Night Ever. If you're new here or a regular listener, we want to let you know where you can find us. We are on Instagram, Reddit, and Facebook at Millennial TV, that's TEAV, and you can also find us on YouTube at Millennial TV Podcast. We'd appreciate it so much if you'd give us a like, follow, subscribe, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you'd like to email us with any feedback or questions, you can do that at millennialtv@gmail.com. And before we get into the drama of this week's episode, let's discuss some pop culture news. Okay, so for today's pop culture, I thought it would be fun to talk about Kristen Cavallari's new TV show that is based around her podcast. I think it only is going to have like 4 or 5 episodes, like it's a really short run. But this past week, they aired an episode where she had, from Laguna Beach Season 2, on the show, she had Alex M, Alex H, Jessica, Jason, and Talon.
3 of which I just want to say that MTV interviewed.
Us, MTV like us. So
Yes.
if you haven't listened, go back to our seasons 1 and 2 to listen.
Yes. So the whole interview with them was basically taken over by Talon being like a drunken asshole to her. And it was so frustrating to watch because I felt like nobody else got to say anything. It was just him. And I was like, I want to hear from the girls or Jason or, and it was like literally all revolved around this, him just being drunk and being mean to her.
Not only did he make it revolve around him, all of the other cast members were like, shut up, Talon.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the whole episode or did you get this from the clips?
I watched the whole episode.
Ah.
Yeah, and so the whole episode, you see them in the green room before coming out, and he's chugging beer beforehand. He was definitely drunk. The whole thing was it started with her asking him about if going to prom together was real or fake. And he was all like, oh, the show asked me and I thought it was going to be terrible to go to prom with you. And then they started making fun of his mullet. And that's when he said something along the lines of that he's one step away from being a Montana boy. And Kristen got real mad about that.
I did feel bad for her though, because her face, you could tell she was struggling to keep it together. And she was very unhappy about that. And she, of course, came back with, tell me about your relationship with Lindsay Lohan.
Yes.
Yeah, I honestly, when I heard about this happening, I was a little bit in shock because I was like, Talon's supposed to be the nice guy. I mean, we know he's kind of a player from what he's been portrayed on as in television, but he's also supposed to be the nice guy. But he really honestly showed his whole asshole.
He did. He made himself look so bad. I hated it. Yeah.
Okay. Is it bad that I feel completely opposite?
Oh.
So, okay. For our listeners, we tried getting Talon on so many times during seasons 1 and 2, but it didn't seem like he wanted to come on. We reached out many times. It didn't seem like he had anything to share, even though he was posting a million TikToks. So to see him being so candid, I thought was funny, number one, and I was surprised by that too. But I didn't watch the episode. I only saw clips that were circulating on TikTok. But every time I saw him dig at her, I'm like, go Talon, you go. And yes, this is coming from the Kristen lover, Team Kristen forever, not anymore. But it was Kristen always wanted to have the upper hand in that interaction. So it was Talon told the truth about the fact that production asked him to ask her, and she was offended by that.
Yeah.
And then when he was like, no, like, I'm being honest, I was like a nice guy. That's like who I was. And she's like, ooh, you're the nice guy, Talon. What? Are you a bad boy now with that mullet? And that's why he brought up the Montana boy, which I was like, get her, Talon, get her. I'm like, I was so happy that he said that.
Okay.
And
but it's also her podcast, so she had to be a little sassy. Where I feel bad for her is that not only did Talon do this to her, but her ex-boyfriend from when she was like 14 years old did the exact same thing when she brought him on the podcast.
oh, really?
Yes. I watched a clip of this today. I didn't know this until today. I watched a clip of it today, and he basically was like calling her like a hoe at 14 years old. Like he said that she
Oh
like
my goodness.
he said like that she hooked up with his best friend and like all of this stuff, and she's just like, what are you like, who did I hook up, what, like, what are you talking about? And she said later, like, the thing that bothered me about that is because I held him in really high regard because we had a really good relationship for a 14-year-old. Like, he did really sweet things for me, and I had a really good image of him in my head, and we only broke up because I moved to Laguna Beach. And then he came on my show and acted like a total D-bag. She's like, so that kind of like ruined it for me. She said that like every ex-boyfriend likes to like dig at her in some way.
I am not surprised by that, dude.
I'm not either. Yeah.
Dude, she's probably got like this peachy rosy like memory of all these boyfriends that she was so outgoing and so like confident when she was younger. So like all those guys probably never like said anything back. But now looking back, I'm sure they all feel differently, which is why they dig at her like now so publicly. So
Yeah.
oh my God, Candace, don't feel bad for her. She deserves it. And if everyone's doing this to her, get better comebacks, girl. Don't get offended.
Okay, but she's an adult now, and she's not trying to hurt anybody. She was like bringing them on and like giving them exposure.
I think she was like egging him on too. Like she was not taking it. Like she was like fighting back.
Right, she wasn't gonna lay down like a dog.
But he didn't even say anything bad. Like, oh, I didn't really want to take you to prom. Production made me do that. That's not all that bad.
He also made a comment about that she was constantly only thinking with her chi-chi, like about her vagina.
It's been said on the show before too. Remember, like Alex H and Jessica were like, "Oh, like, oh, you think like a guy," and she said that too.
Yes.
So not
it's so weird that he has such animosity for her, though. Like, because he was a little antagonistic.
Do we think like drunk though?
I think that him being drunk had a lot to do with it.
He was drunk, but it would still hurt me that my friend acted like that on my podcast that I brought him onto. If I brought my best friend from high school onto this podcast and he was a drunk asshole and called me out for like, you know, whatever, and was talking about my ex-boyfriend that literally just broke up with me, that's all over in the tabloids, I'd be pissed.
I mean, I guess so. It's like he is a guest on her show, but I just love seeing her being put in like to some place because like no one ever does that with her.
Sure, and like I'm sure she had the opportunity not to air that. Like, I mean, I guess not because it's not her show. It's whatever, they're gonna air the drama, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did feel bad for her, but I understand she wasn't the greatest person in high school, but neither was I. Like, I don't want people coming at me now for shit I did in high school. That's awful.
No, I think it was the fact that she was like going back and forth too. And then to bring up like the whole Lindsay Lohan thing later. And then like her being like, you're a bad boy. See, like, I feel like that is really like goading him on.
She didn't bring up the Lindsay Lohan thing until he brought up the Montana boy thing.
He didn't bring up Montana boys until she talked about his mullet. So it was really her, Candace. Do not let her off the hook for this, okay? Coming from the Kristen fan.
Okay, all right.
He won.
I was going to give her one, but okay. Adrian,
no, don't do it.
Adrian,
don't do it.
I think it's less of more, like, it's not so much as I felt bad for Kristen. I just felt bad for the rest of the cast that, like, nobody got any screen time or anything. That was the worst part of the whole thing. I'm like, can we see all the outtakes that they didn't put on the show of, like, the girls saying anything?
So for you guys who felt like you didn't get enough of the girls, you can tune into our interviews with Jessica, Alex H, and Alex M, and learn some behind-the-scenes Laguna goss, because apparently nobody got it on the Gary Cavallari show.
And they all spilled a lot on our podcast, so go listen.
Well, let us know what you guys think if you guys have watched it. If you are Team Kristen or Team Talon on this topic, that would be
Team Talon!
fun. Yes, it'd be fun to find out what everybody else thinks happened.
We're going to poll it. Honestly, you guys surprise us with your poll answers every single time. Like sometimes I think it's going to swing like all the way to one side and you're like 50-50. And I'm like,
Oh my
what is
God.
going on?
Yeah.
How many of you guys that said that they would pick Jason and Malibu over the Paris internship made me want to vomit. Okay, you guys. No, that is not the correct answer. The internship still won, but it was too many of you guys that voted for Jason in the Malibu beach house. I was very disappointed.
That's hilarious.
And this week, you guys, we posted a poll last week of whether you liked Brody. And God, 50% of you like Brody. Oh my God. Maybe it's just like we're at season 2. He's still like a lover boy. He's
so
smooth.
cute.
He's suave.
so cute and handsome.
We'll do it again in like a season or 2.
Yeah.
Even though he is a skeeze right now in my mind.
I know already.
He is. Okay. Well, yeah, let us know what you guys think, and we will talk about that once we poll it, because that would be fun.
Team Talon!
Now let's get on to the episode. So in the previously on, Lauren says, after finally ending the relationship from hell, I made a rule. No more boys.
Pretty intense branding for that relationship.
I know. I kind of love that she said that, though.
I'm like, holy
Relationship
crap.
from hell.
Okay, I know. I'm like, we weren't branding at this 5 minutes ago, but let's go. Let's do this. We're moving on. We're moving past it. I love this. We're in the anger stage.
Yeah. We then get a little clip from her date with Brody, and Lauren says that she went on her first date since breaking up with Jason, but she wasn't sure if she was ready to start seeing anyone, even a guy as nice as Brody. She says Heidi was getting serious about Spencer, but she was still mad at Audrina for showing up with him at the club. And now it was Heidi's birthday, and all she wanted was for Audrina to keep her distance.
I feel like I was just thinking about Brody and Lauren's date the entire time that I totally forgot that Audrina and Heidi were beefing. I'm like, this is just Lauren and Brody falling in love. I just completely forgot about this.
Yeah.
You guys are so into Lauren and Brody. I like have
because they're so into each other.
Mm-hmm. Well, during this one, I had a couple times where I was like, oh gosh, like he definitely was giving like F-boy vibes.
Sleazy.
And
yes.
It made me feel kind of icky. And then he was being like nice and cheesy again. And I was like, oh, okay. So
you have to remember that Brody is friends with Spencer and has been friends with Spencer like his entire boyhood.
Yeah.
Like that
says a lot. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. They're both sleazy. Brody just wears it better.
Brody's just cuter. He's better looking.
He wears it better.
Yeah, he's definitely sleazy the way that he like over compliments Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I look at him, I literally see like Bruce or Caitlyn Jenner's like face.
I know.
I never used to think that when I like watched it back in the day, and even when I started watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I like never put that together. But now watching it back, I'm like, holy crap, he looks exactly like him.
I think
Sorry.
I think he looks a lot like Brandon too, his brother. Like I think they look a lot alike.
Yes.
But they carry themselves so differently that it's impossible to get them mixed up because Brandon's like a hippie and Brody is like like I don't know if you've ever watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you know, Brandon is like in a folk band with his wife and like, you know, wears sandals. And Brody is just like a party boy.
Yeah.
But that family, the genes, they all look alike.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay, so in our first scene, we see Lauren and Heidi shopping for party dresses for Heidi's birthday. And Heidi asks what time they're going to the salon, and Lauren says, not too early because I have a lunch date with Brody. I'm pretty sure both of those lines were voiceovers because it was just like back of the head sort of thing. It just, I can't unsee these things now. It felt so obvious. So Heidi's like, yay. And Lauren asks if she invited Whitney and Audrina. Heidi says yes to Whitney, but for Audrina, she says, we're not friends, so I'm not going to invite someone who's not my friend. I don't dislike her, so I don't care if she was there, but I'm not going to invite her because I don't like her. If I see her there, I'll be like, hey, how are you? It's my birthday.
But did anybody like genuinely forget that Audrina and Heidi ever had this much drama?
I remembered it, but I didn't remember it being like the sole focus of like 2 episodes, basically.
I didn't think that it was this deep. Like,
yeah,
it didn't last very long, you know?
No.
Like,
but it
because
is
Audrina
deep.
honestly was like, I don't like him. Like, I think Audrina just wanted to party and go out, and Spencer was using her to make Heidi jealous. So, like, I don't know how much of a thing it was, except for Spencer and Heidi. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Audrina was just caught in the mix of it.
Yeah, Audrina bothers me because she pushes herself on people. But I just completely forgot that this was even a thing. And, like, it was definitely Spencer's issue and not Audrina's.
Absolutely.
It was very odd.
Yeah. Lauren mentions Heidi's crown, and Heidi is like, my crown, I'm so excited. And Lauren tells her that she really is a princess on her birthday, and Heidi says, it's a rule, despite what anybody thinks.
I still love her princess vibes.
I love that she's having a crown.
I know. I said, of course, Miss Heidi Montag would have a crown on her birthday.
I would never do that. I would think it's annoying if somebody I know did that, but I just think it's hilarious. Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything.
Would you wear a crown on your birthday?
I wore a birthday crown a couple times. Not like a real crown, but like a birthday bitch crown.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you didn't buy yourself a princess crown and act like a princess for your birthday.
No. But when I was little, my sister worked at the store Jessica McClintock in the mall, which if you're a 90s, 2000s baby, it's just like a prom dress store, really fancy stuff. They sold actual tiaras with like diamonds in them, and my sister got one like heavily discounted and gave it to me for Christmas.
Aww.
And I wore it to my church's Christmas banquet, and I thought I was a princess. Like I was like 10 years old, and I have pictures, so I might post one, but I thought I was an actual princess, and I will never forget it. And that's what I was reminded of when she's like, I'm gonna wear a crown.
You're like, I am a princess and I live in the kingdom of Jesus Christ.
I know, really, like my little Christian self. But no, I just remember being so excited, and I still have it, but it's like a little kid tiara, so it's like really tiny. So I can't like wear it or anything, but like it was the first gift that my sister like cognitively bought me.
Aw, that's
very cute.
Isn't that sweet? It was like a tiara because she knew I was like, you know, obsessed with princess stuff. But yeah, super cute.
In our next scene, we are at a cafe where Lauren is meeting up with Brody for lunch. Lauren looks super cute in a white spaghetti strap tank top with like a long, flowy beige skirt. I just thought she looked really pretty here.
Love it. Love.
After they hug and sit down, Brody jumps right in by asking, so how's your love life? And Lauren laughs, and he asks if she's been talking to Jason at all, and she shakes her head no, and Brody asks if it ended on a bad note. Lauren says no, it was just kind of like, I've had it. And then she asks Brody if he went from dating Kristen to Nicole, and he has to like think about it for a second and then says no.
Is this Nicole Richie, by the way? Did they date?
Oh,
I didn't even think about that.
Nicole Scherzinger, maybe?
I didn't know who they were talking about, yeah.
Yep, they dated Nicole Richie.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's funny.
That's so weird to think about because she's like so a mom. Like she's been with, is it Benji or Joel?
It's Joel Madden.
Yeah, she was totally in this era of like Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, clubbing days. So
yeah,
makes sense that they would date.
Yeah.
So Lauren asks if he had a girlfriend in between them, and Brody confirms that he did. She asks if he had any break in between girls, and he says maybe 2 weeks of living the single life. Lauren asks why he doesn't take breaks in between girls, and he says that he doesn't know. She tells him he needs to be single for a while, and Brody says it just happens that way, and when you meet someone really special, just because you don't want to get in a relationship doesn't mean you have to ruin it with them. Lauren questions him on this and asks why he couldn't say he just wants to be friends for a while. And he says, it's hard to say that if you really care about someone. Then he says, I'm still looking for someone to cuddle with. I'm a cuddler.
Listen, he definitely knows how to make a girl swoon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm still looking for someone to cuddle with. He knows what that is doing.
And the good thing is, though, that our girl Lauren sees right through it.
She does.
Like, she's like giggly through the whole thing, but she's totally wary of his like playboy attitude.
It's because she's wise now. She's grown.
From that relationship from hell.
She's dealt with this twice now. Steven, Jason, she has learned. She has adjusted.
I just have to say, so I was scared to say this, but in my notes, I put Lauren is in the ugliest outfit ever. White spaghetti strap top, ugly skirt.
Oh, I thought she was so pretty.
She looks so cute.
So that's why when you guys said that, I was reading through my thing. I'm like, are we talking about the same thing?
That is too funny.
We got to pull this, you guys. Go to our Instagram and vote and tell us if you think it's pretty or not.
I'm in love with her casual lunch date outfit. The skirt is everything and her hair is so effortlessly pretty.
She looks great.
That's so funny. This keeps happening.
Adrian is like, honestly, I feel like you are like so scared. Like, I would not want you to judge my outfits.
Yeah.
I would never say anything though, but it's just like we all feel differently about clothes.
You're the girl that says, it looks really good on you.
No. I'm the girl that just won't say anything if it doesn't look good. So
that's better than lying.
I'm not lying.
Oh my God. I can't.
Next, we are at Epic Records with Audrina, and Audrina goes up to Kiara, the Epic intern, and she starts talking about the Heidi and Spencer situation. She tells Kiara that Heidi thinks there's something going on with her and Spencer, but Audrina says there's nothing going on with them at all. And then Audrina kind of like pauses after somebody like walks by and she's like, am I going to get you in trouble for talking to you back here? And Kiara says that she hasn't been back there long enough to get them in trouble for anything. I noticed that on Kiara's computer. I thought it was funny. You could see that she had like MySpace open on it. So she was like checking her MySpace at work. So Audrina tells her tonight is Heidi's birthday party and that she's not invited. Kiara compares the way Heidi's acting to being in kindergarten. Like, you're not invited to my birthday party. Audrina asks if she thinks it's a good idea for her to be the bigger person and just go anyways. Kiara says she should go, wish her a happy birthday, and if she's going to be a bitch about it, then she's going to be a bitch about it. Audrina says that's what she's going to do, and then says that they are friends, and to have a friend, you have to be a friend, and she's not being a friend right now. Kiara asks if Spencer is trying to date her too, and Audrina says yes, and she calls Spencer a pig. And she says Heidi is being played and that she's not hanging out with him at all. Kiara says that it's obvious that Heidi doesn't know this, and then Audrina decides that this is going to be her last time trying. I don't think what Audrina is doing is correct. I wouldn't show up to a birthday party if I knew I actively wasn't invited, even if it was like my friend, and her being like, I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm like, no, the bigger person would be to just not go.
I know.
Try to fix this later.
Have a talk. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm like, is that being the bigger person or is she instigating a fight?
That's what I'm saying. I think Audrina pushes herself on people too much. Like, just relax, girl. It's fine. I literally wrote, if I were Audrina, I wouldn't bother. If Heidi wants to be that way, then let her be that way. I'm not doing anything wrong. Your boyfriend's a skis.
Exactly. And it's not like it's just like a casual, like, oh, we're going to the club. Like, it's Heidi's birthday.
Her birthday.
So it's like, just don't do that.
Audrina is so brave for wearing white pants, though. I was looking at those pants and I was like, oh my God, I would immediately sit in something, start my period, like something. Could never wear white pants.
Next, we are with Lauren and Heidi as they arrive at the Warren Trichomy Salon. They sit down and they cheers with their champagne to the best night ever. And Heidi tells the stylist that she's going for an Audrey Hepburn type of look and will be wearing a black tutu. She asks to look really fun, sexy, and sophisticated all at the same time. Lauren asks if she's getting her makeup done, and Heidi says, of course, it's my birthday. I'm not lifting a hand. I'm an American princess.
Oh my God.
Lauren says she talked to Whitney, who doesn't think she's going to be able to make it to the party. And Heidi tells her that Audrina isn't coming, and Lauren asks if she's talked to her. And from the look on Lauren's face, it seems like Lauren knows that Audrina like is planning to come, and it's kind of like a, have you told her she's not invited, like sort of thing. Lauren asks if she's just assuming that she's not coming, and Heidi says she can come, but she can't come to my party.
Mean girl.
And Lauren looks very like much on Team Heidi right now.
Mm-hmm.
As she should be, as her best friend.
Totally.
I don't think she ever really chose a team, though. I think in this case she was trying to stay as neutral as possible, which is funny because the tune changes. But I think in these next couple of episodes, she really tries to stay neutral at first. And then she's just like, there's like a shift. But I loved this scene because I miss nights like these, getting ready with your girls and doing your hair and makeup and getting your hair and makeup done and just going out for a good time.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me nostalgic for my 20s.
And we can still do it, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we absolutely can, but I just don't have it in me to like do all that anymore.
I'm in bed by 9:30. You didn't start getting ready until 10 o'clock, dude. Like, I can't.
Oh my God.
I'm like, at that point, the bra is off. The makeup is off. Like, I am in bed. I will see you in the morning. And
I know. God, what happened to us?
It's that age when you get a text message at 11 o'clock and they're not getting a response till 6 a.m. Like, it's that age.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a, why are you texting me at this ungodly hour? You know?
For real.
You're so rude.
I'm like, why are you texting me after 8 p.m.? like, this is like my bed rot time. So.
Yes. We are then at Heidi's birthday party, which is being held at Les Deux nightclub. And the party has already started, and we see Heidi standing up on a couch with a bunch of friends around her. She's wearing like a tight black halter that it just comes down to like right under her boobs, and it has no back to it.
I love it.
So like her stomach's showing, and she's got the black tutu that's like super low rise, and she's like really pulling it off, but it's like such a 2000s look. Like, I couldn't pull it off.
It's so cute though on her.
Oh my God, I put it so ugly.
God,
oh no.
Did you guys spy Frankie Delgado?
No, I didn't see him in the scene.
Yeah, he was in the scene. He was at the party.
Oh man,
we should get him on. I hope he'll come on.
I could try.
Once we get to the later seasons, we should.
So we see Brody and Spencer, and Heidi's like running to greet a friend, and Lauren brings in a giant cake with really tall candles on it. And Heidi's blowing out the candles while everyone's like cheering, and we hear Heidi yell, "I'm so cute!" And then we see that the cake has a picture of Heidi on it as a kid, and I was like, that is really cute.
Oh.
And doesn't she's like, no one can eat this cake.
Because I'm so cute.
Can't eat my face. Yeah. Spencer is like creepily whispering into Brody's ear, and he says, "Lauren is so your style, and you know it."
So funnily enough, though, I was just watching a TikTok clip where Spencer was talking about the fact that Lauren loved him originally and loved that he was trying to hook her up with Brody. Like, just loved it. Like, loved the whole thing, loved that, like, Spencer was taking some of the heat off of her personal life and just, like, loved him. And then, obviously, things changed. But I think, like, this is what he's talking about. Like, this...
I believe it.
Totally.
She is very easy on him at first, and then all of a sudden it changes. So, like, yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. But I just saw something come across my feed with him saying that, and I thought it was really interesting. I had to mention
that. That is interesting, yeah. So Brody says to Spencer that he just got out of a relationship like a week ago, and Spencer's like, "Today though," and they both like drunkenly are like laughing with each other. Then we see Heidi telling Lauren that he's such a good guy and he makes you smile. And Lauren says, "I know, but he's bad." Heidi says she knows Lauren is comfortable with him. And Lauren tells her that he's someone she'd want to date, but she can't like him right now. She's just not ready. And Heidi tells her, "Life's about taking chances, baby."
I have that noted as a possible episode name because I thought it was funny.
Oh, I like that too.
Life's about taking chances, baby.
Yeah.
But also, Lauren is very drunk, and I love it.
They all are. Yeah. Then the mood like suddenly shifts as we see Audrina walking down the street heading to the party. And for some reason, she has 2 cell phones and is holding each one up to an ear, and she's talking into both of them. So that's Interesting. Lauren and Heidi are on a balcony of the club and they see Audrina walking. And Lauren's like, shut up, it's Audrina. And she's like, I'm gone, and runs back into the club. Audrina is making her way through the crowd of people. And we hear who I think is Heidi say, that's so rude. And we see Jen Bunny, the rat, pull Heidi onto a couch, and she puts her arms around Heidi and Lauren. Lauren gets up, and I'm pretty sure we saw Heidi's sister sitting on the couch in the shot. Did you guys notice her?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Audrina party crashing is brave.
It's stupid.
No one's going to be on her side. It's Heidi's birthday.
In a room full of Heidi's friends.
Right.
Yeah, it's
so,
crazy.
Like, I will say that was brave, but it is very weird of Audrina to try and have this conversation on Heidi's birthday.
I know. The whole time I was like, just stop.
It's got to be produced, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she would do this by herself. Like, that's crazy.
I think she was not necessarily told to go do it, but I think the producers were egging it on.
Encouraged, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they told her, you're going to go do this. But I do think they're probably like, you should really talk to Heidi. I mean, she's having this party tonight. You should really go. You should really talk to Heidi. And I'm sure she's like drunk and like, whatever. Like, I want to go to Lady. I want to be on the show. So...
Lauren goes up to Audrina and she says hello, and she's like, I'll be back in 5 minutes. But Audrina asks where Heidi is. And then we see Heidi run past Audrina. She's like skipping in the background, and Audrina calls Heidi's name, and Heidi stops, and Audrina tells her happy birthday and says she looks cute, and they hug. Then Audrina asks, you're not mad at me, are you? And Heidi just replies with a quick like, no. Audrina says she wants to talk to her because it's been weird. Heidi says, it's cool, and Audrina says she doesn't understand. Heidi says, it's my birthday and I don't really want to talk about it. Thank you for saying happy birthday to me. I appreciate it, but we'll talk about it another time. And then Audrina's like, we'll talk about it later. Then something happens with someone like behind Audrina, and Heidi sees this as it's like her out, and she like runs back off into her party. And Audrina's upset and she says, I don't know why she treats me like that and acts like she doesn't know me. Then Jen is telling Lauren that she's going to say something to Audrina, and Lauren asks why. I told her to call me tomorrow so I could talk to her about it. And Jen says there's no reason for her to be up here if she's going to be mean. And Lauren's like, she's fine.
Jen is so extra. Like,
yeah, she's fine, Jen.
Like, this was so
oh my God.
This is so cringy. Yeah. Jen says Audrina is talking shit on Heidi the second she leaves, but Lauren says, no, she's not. And Jen says, yes, she is, and it's fucked up. Then Jen goes to confront Audrina and tells her that she wanted to make sure Heidi had a good birthday because she's really protective of her friends. And then she says to the girl sitting next to Audrina, you're such a random girl and you don't know anything about the situation.
I thought she was saying that to...
Was she saying it to Audrina?
Audrina, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was like calling her out for not being OG crew.
Okay. Because I was like, why is she saying she's random? Like, because she's obviously like in the friend
Jen had
group.
like a complex with Audrina.
Yeah.
Because they're both a dark-haired friend.
Yeah.
And I think that Jen wanted to be on the show and she wasn't getting as much traction as she wanted. And she probably felt threatened by Audrina. And this came out while she was drunk. So she was just like, you're so random.
You know, Audrina should have been like, as random as being on the cover of The Hill season 1. Take that.
Like, Jen Bunny, I'm sorry that you're the rat and not anything else. I still want to interview her, though.
No. I'm busy that day.
Should be all question for you. I hear you call me the rat.
Yeah, watch us drop off the interview so quick.
I know.
Like, oh, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I would love it. And then I would advertise it as, you heard it, folks. The rat's coming on Millennial TV.
So, yeah, she calls her a random girl, so she doesn't know anything about the situation, and Audrina says that she's going to go back downstairs to her friends. She came up there to be nice and say happy birthday, and that was it, and now it's turned into this. We see Spencer and Brody, and it's like they're trying to make us think that Spencer is like turning to look at Audrina during this, but I noticed that this was from the same scene earlier when Spencer was whispering in Brody's ear, so I was like, that was a good like little insert they did, but I caught them, so it wasn't real. And then Jen tells Audrina that she thinks that's the best idea and says, not that I don't like you or anything. And Audrina and her friends get up to go. And then we see Heidi and Jen being like really annoying. And I think we're supposed to believe that they're like making fun of Audrina, but I think they were just like being drunk. And then Audrina's walking out of the club. She's on one of her cell phones and she's crying and she says, "They're turning all the shit on me. Like, what did I do?" So yeah, my thoughts again, Audrina shouldn't have come to the party. She shouldn't have tried to talk to Heidi about it at her birthday party, and everybody was drunk. You know, it was just like not the good time.
Not the time and place
to do this. No.
Yeah.
And I do feel bad for Audrina because I've been there just like leaving and crying and like everybody's against you, whatever. But also, what did you expect? It's Heidi's birthday.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's gonna like take her side at Heidi's birthday party.
I feel bad, but I don't feel that bad.
You know, one of the girls that comes with Audrina is her sister Casey.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out who was with her because there was like 3 girls and I couldn't.
One of them was her sister because they look so similar. Like, it's like the same face. So,
did you guys watch Audrina's reality show?
No.
No, I didn't.
I didn't either.
Womp womp.
She didn't hold enough interest in me.
I know.
We're then at the Hillside Villas where Heidi, Lauren, and Jen are all crammed on the couch together and they're sharing like this ridiculous amount of Chinese takeout. And I was like, I wonder what time it is right now. But also that's like one of the best drunk foods to have is like takeout. And it looked awesome.
Do we think it's the same night?
I kind of assumed that it was, but I don't know.
How do they look so alive at like 3 a.m.?
True, because I was like, it had to be, like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So.
I loved it because this is peak girl friendship.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Eating takeout and talking about boys.
What was your drunk takeout food?
We always went to Taco Bell.
I was going to say Taco Bell. Yeah.
We always went to McDonald's.
McDonald's is good too.
Yeah. It was right next to our favorite club.
So Lauren says that she thinks Audrina had her feelings hurt, and Heidi says that she feels that she came there because she wanted to cause trouble. Jen asks Lauren if she would ever date Brody, and Lauren says, "I do not want to date anyone right now." She tells Lauren that Brody definitely likes her, and the question is, do you like him? Lauren says if she didn't like him, she wouldn't waste her time worrying about him. And Jen asks, so if things went well, you would date him? And Lauren kind of like playfully yelling is like, I don't know, like, or don't know what I want. And she doesn't know if she likes Brody. And Heidi says, you just want someone on your arm that's arm candy. And Jen agrees that Brody is arm candy and says, hell yeah. And then Lauren takes a bite of an egg roll and asks, why do we always compare guys to accessories? And Heidi says, because they're disposable like that. That was good.
I had to watch that so many times because she said it like so under her breath.
Yeah, and then they're both like, ooh.
Yeah. But also peep Jen Bunny being a rat already. Like she's totally trying to suss out whether Lauren likes Brody because she wants to get in there.
Being a rat already. She's always been a rat.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Just showing her rat ways.
Very ratty.
Like, watch it, Jen. Your rat is showing.
Yes. Next, we are in the Teen Vogue closet with Lauren and Whitney, and Lauren is talking about how she needs a me day where she can go get her highlights done, her nails done, her eyebrows done, and a few more things done.
Me too, girl.
Yeah.
Honestly, we need a whole day.
Sounds amazing.
I'm like, can I do it yesterday?
Lauren's phone rings, and she tells whoever it is that she will call them when she gets off. And Whitney asks who it was, and Lauren says, it's Audrina, you're coming. And Whitney asks, coming where? And Lauren says, coming to lunch. Whitney says maybe since she isn't talking to Heidi, she thinks Lauren is the next person to talk to in order to resolve things. And Lauren says that she meant to call her after it's Heidi's birthday, but she never did.
Yeah. Not Whitney getting dragged along into this drama. I'd be like, absolutely not. I'd be like, I'm not going anywhere with you.
Yeah.
You solved this on your own, chica.
But this is why I thought, too, that Lauren was really sticking with Heidi at this point.
Yes.
Because if she wanted to be neutral, she would have reached out or said something.
Oh, yeah.
Then we are at Cafe Verona, where Lauren and Whitney are meeting Audrina for lunch. And Audrina had a cute side braid, and she's wearing like the double layer tank top look with a camouflage tank on top and a plain white one underneath. Lauren's wearing a navy blue dress with like a ribbon tied around the waist and a flower pattern on the bottom. I liked the dress, but I did not like the ribbon on it. That's the only thing where I was like, I don't know.
She was slaying. The lunch outfits are just, she's like, I'm so casual. I'm just going to lunch.
Yes. Audrina asks how Teen Vogue is, and then immediately jumps to asking Lauren if she's seen anyone. And Lauren says, seen? And Audrina says, well, I don't know, dating? Lauren gives her like a little shoulder shrug and says she doesn't want to date anyone, so she's just having fun. And Audrina says, me too, it's hard to find a good guy. And Lauren tells her she's not looking for a good guy right now. She says she needs to be fine being alone and not wanting to date someone, and then she knows she'll be fine to get into a relationship. And I was just like, that is so mature for like a 21-year-old to like be thinking like that. Because
Truth.
Most girls are like, I need to get another boyfriend like right away.
Mm-hmm.
Truth.
There was like this weird awkward silence after that where they all just kind of like looking around. And then Audrina's just like, yep.
It's so awkward. This whole lunch.
Yes.
I think Audrina pushes herself on people and it's really weird.
No, stop. I'm like, it's so nice that Audrina's trying to mend things. Because imagine if she like didn't reach out, they would just stop being friends for no reason. I mean, because of Spencer, but like,
that's true.
You know, at least she's trying.
Yeah, good for Audrina.
Audrina brings up the party and says that she wasn't there to ruin Heidi's birthday. She said she was there to have a good time, and since she knew Heidi was there, she decided to come up and say, hi, happy birthday. Lauren says that's fine, and she thinks Heidi wanted to say hi to Audrina, but there's stuff going on between them, and Heidi didn't want to talk about it that night because it was her birthday and she'd rather talk about it later. Audrina says, well, she won't talk to me anyways. She just changed towards me, I guess. And Lauren says she thinks a lot of what's going on is about Spencer. Audrina agrees that it's always about guys, and Whitney jumps in and says that it's just one of those things where friends sometimes grow apart and aren't meant to be. Audrina says it's totally fine, she's doing her own thing and I'm doing mine, and Whitney says, girl fights, and then it's like more awkward staring and looking around. And then when they're leaving the cafe, Audrina and Lauren hug, and Audrina says, just because me and Heidi aren't friends doesn't mean we can't be, and Lauren awkwardly like nods, and then they all just like walk their separate ways. This was just uncomfortable and didn't really do anything. I felt like, I don't know.
I know. I felt like Lauren was like sad at the end because she was kind of like, damn, like we were friends, but now I can't be your friend or like as close of a friend because my best friend doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing was resolved. Nothing.
Next, we're back at the Hillside Villas, and Lauren is walking into the apartment and she calls for Heidi, who's outside on the balcony. Heidi asks how it went with Audrina and asks if Lauren called her out on anything. Lauren shakes her head no, and Heidi asks what's going to happen if she sees her out or something. And Lauren says, I see her out, I just say hi like anyone else. And Heidi says, but it's a mutual thing. And Lauren says that she knows. And Heidi says, I don't care. I have too many friends and too little time.
Also a good episode name.
Yes.
Too many friends and too little time.
I thought Lauren looked like really sad in this moment. And then it just cuts back to Heidi and she's like, nap, dinner, then meet up with Spencer and Brody. And then Lauren smiles and she's like, okay. And then Heidi gets all excited.
I mean, sounds pretty good. I'm down.
Yeah. So next we see Lauren and Heidi walking down the street, and Lauren is wearing a black and white blouse, dark jeans, and knee-high boots. Heidi was wearing like a flowy dress with a black sweater. I didn't like either of these looks. I thought Lauren's would have been cuter if she didn't have the big boots on.
She's in like business casual again to the club.
Yeah, she looks like she's
so
going
funny.
to work.
Listen, these girls are wearing cardigans to the club.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. And
like,
ugly
weird.
ones too.
What
Okay.
the F? I'm like, even I wouldn't do that, and I'm a cardigan queen, okay?
I would worry about getting hot and then being like, where do I put this down at the club? And then there's...
It's because we're poor, Liz. We don't have booths, remember?
True, yeah, that's true.
If I'm going to the club, I want you to see my boobs. Let's be real.
Yeah, you want to look hot.
My cleavage is cleavaging at the club, okay? I do not want to cover it up with a cardigan.
That's real talk.
Yes. They arrive at the area nightclub, and of course the first thing we see is that Audrina is also there. Spencer and Brody walk in and Heidi spots them, and she says, I think this party is secretly starting now, officially. The boys greet the girls, and then we see Audrina talking to some friends, and she's telling them how sick she is of fighting and that she'd rather just make up. Heidi asks Spencer if Audrina is going to come over to them, and Spencer says, it's just like, who cares? One of the girls with Audrina says that Spencer is the ultimate cheese.
Also a good episode name.
Yes.
Yes.
And Spencer says to Heidi, do not let that girl come between us, please. And Heidi says that she won't. Jen, Bunny, and Lauren are sitting down together, and Spencer yells at Jen to get up so Brody can cuddle with Lauren. And Brody's like all flirty with Lauren, and after he sits down, Jen says, it's cool, I love standing. And everybody just like ignores her.
Yeah,
I know.
as it should be.
Who's that random girl?
She's so random. Oh my God, Jen, Bunny, I can't.
Brody tells Lauren that she looks amazing and that he's being serious. Lauren says, you're so nice. And then we see them like posing like someone's taking their photo. And then Brody tells Lauren, you have the most beautiful eyes, honestly, I've ever seen. And Lauren tells him, thank you. And this was the moment where I was just like, oh my God, like, stop it. He's being like, oh, I could like see right through it, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Spencer tells Heidi, I love them so much. And Heidi asks, who? Those three girls? And Spencer tells Heidi she's such a hussy and that it's Lauren and Brody he's talking about. And Brody tells Lauren, I like you. I want to hang out with you. And she just kind of like gives him a flirty look. And then Heidi asks in a very obvious voiceover, where'd Lauren and Brody go?
Yo, where's LC?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Throwback to Laguna.
Yes. Our last scene, we are at Brody's condo, and after coming inside, he leads Lauren to a balcony view of the city, and he asks Lauren if she had fun, and she nods yes, and asks, did you? He says yes, and that he had an amazing time, and then they kiss, but it was like the shortest kiss ever. Brody tells her he's so glad he's with her, and says, I swear to God, there's nowhere else I'd want to be right now than here with you.
I'm pretty sure this was the kiss that they were like giggling about.
No, stop. Okay, I was
No.
going to say, after watching this scene, you cannot deny that they obviously liked each other.
No, I legit think this is a scene.
It
'cause I
was
remember them
real.
being in front of a window.
No freaking way. And maybe they giggled because it was like awkward, but like they definitely kissed because they were interested in each other.
I mean, I would be wooed by Brody's condo, so I get it.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Lauren says he's a cheese ball, and he again says that he wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Lauren thanks him, and he asks why she's thanking him right now. And she says, because it's so nice. And he says he's just being real with her. Then he gets really cheesy again and says that he loves seeing her smile. And she says that he makes her smile, and he tells her that she has a beautiful smile, just like all this flirty talk. She says thank you, and they share another kiss, and the episode ends with us seeing Spencer and Heidi kissing in the club. We see Audrina leaving the club, and then Brody and Lauren are doing some more like canoodling on the balcony. It was cute. It was a cute ending.
It was cute.
So cute.
Oh my God. I thought after the scene you would have to like take it back and agree with us that they were really in love.
No.
No, no.
I don't see it. I see cheese, 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 cheese. But I love that you guys want to believe in the love.
Oh my God. Okay,
Yeah.
we do.
I feel like that's wonderful.
Well, I really liked this episode, and I wanted to ask if you guys were Team Audrina or Team Heidi with the drama.
I was team Spencer's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'm not sure if I was like on
Totally.
either side. I appreciated Audrina for like reaching out, but not at the birthday party.
No.
Exactly.
That was
Yeah.
the wrong place.
That was a bad
Like,
choice.
mistakes were made on both sides, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Did you guys have a favorite outfit?
Lauren's lunch date outfit with Brody, even though Adrian
Mine
hated
too.
it.
Yeah, that's what I put.
Oh, I actually put her like baby doll umpire dress at the Whitney
At the
Audrina
lunch.
lunch. Yeah.
The blue dress, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was cute.
it was cute.
And what about a favorite moment?
I liked the three girls hanging out and eating takeout and talking about boys. I just thought that was such a sweet, like, peak girl friendship moment. and everybody's still friends, and it's nice because we don't get a lot of those moments.
Mine was definitely Lauren and Brody, and honestly didn't even have to be them. I just love seeing that like chemistry and that like initial like spark and how cute it is. I just like
Yeah.
love watching that. And like that doesn't last forever, you know? But like that initial loving is just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
What about you, Liz?
My favorite moment was when Jen, well, now I know she's saying it to Audrina, but when she tells her that she's just a random girl who doesn't know anything about the situation, I just thought that was so, I laughed so hard at that. I was like, oh my gosh. The rat was my favorite moment, I guess.
The rat
I'm
is
sorry.
back.
Rat.
Yeah.
Rat attack.
The random rat.
Yes. Well, stay tuned for next week. Candace will be recapping episode 4.
Who do you trust?
Stay tuned.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Come back next week.
Thank you for tuning in to Season 5 of Millennial TV. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram at millennialteav, that's TEAV. If you'd like to watch us, check us out on our YouTube channel. You can watch our interviews with cast members and producers, along with video recaps that include footage from the show. You can subscribe to us on YouTube at Millennial TV Podcast. If you'd like to send us a message, feel free to email us at millennialtv@gmail.com. We love hearing feedback from our listeners and always make sure to respond. This is Liz, Candace, and Adrian, and we'll see you next week.